Hello preparedness people, and welcome back to the Biggs Prep. My name is Cynthia, and today if you want to check out some of the really cool stuff Mr. Biggs and I have gotten at some yard sales over the last month, press the like button and let's get right into it.
First yard sale of the season, a whole box of spray paint, solvents, and other miscellaneous bottles, a gallon of Rain-X bug remover, and a new light for the chicks. All that for just 20 bucks. The deer head isn't technically from a yard sale. I traded a friend of mine a purse I wasn't using anymore for this gorgeous taxidermy deer head. Out of pocket, $0. Next up, there's no shame in my yard sale game. I always am on the lookout for jars, and all my friends know it. My dear friend scored me this jar haul for 50 bucks. Here is the $50 haul. I got this glass storage jar thing and 2 quarts. Then there's 3 dozen pints. They need a little help, but you know what? That's okay. They're a regular mouth pint, 3 dozen. These wire jars here. These are old. And then this cool jar. Look at that, an old Kerr. Some old kind of specialty ball jars. I don't know how old those are. Probably not very old. Most of these jars are like not collectible. They're just a regular Golden Harvest jar, probably from the 90s or the 2000s. So not super old. Then there was 16 dozen regular mouth lids and 16 dozen wide mouths. These are a platinum. It's called Elite Platinum wide mouth lids. Never seen those before, but there was all kinds of them in there. So we took them all apart so we can wash them and put them away. And that is a $50 yard sale haul. Included in the $50 haul were 5 dozen jelly jars and a bunch of the little sample jars as well. This was a score.
Do you let your friends know when you're looking for a specific prepping item? Maybe a dehydrator or a food processor, apple peeler, something like that? My friends text me all the time and say, hey Cynthia, do you want this? And snap a picture of it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm a yes.
Next up, Mr. Biggs has a huge haul from a prepper's yard sale.
We just came from like a prepper's yard sale. It's pretty awesome. There's a little spot of the chicks.
This is a legitimate Collins. It's South American, but they actually made blades for World War One. They started. They make all kind of other steel products, but they were really good steel, really good machetes.
So all of this, the machete and all of this was $100.
With prices rising, we've been on the lookout for screws and nails.
31 cents a piece right now.
Wow, and we got a lot of them. It's a lot. So there's $33 worth of nails. We figured it out. There's 108 nails there at 31 cents each. What else you got?
The other day I spent, after taxes, it was like $10.79 for a little box of screws that I needed to finish a project, and it wasn't hardly as big as this. This was $4 however many years ago that was, and right now this box of screws will probably cost $10, $12 depending where you get it. Number 2 Phillips. So there's like 40 bucks there.
40 bucks.
I'm not sure on the fence staples. It's pretty much a full box of fence staples.
We got brand new WD-40. I don't know how much that is.
There's another probably $8 worth of screws. I'll buy right now standards. There's another. This is the size I got the other day that ended up about 12 bucks.
And that's more than what we got. That's a lot of screws in that.
Yeah. And there's mismatched. But you know what? I use these. I'll pull them out of old projects and reuse them. That's why I like using screws. Some more 1.5 inch, 3/4. Some bunch of mismatched sizes and we already have. There's like some drywall screws. Just a little handful there. I'll say some little 8-penny nails. There's probably $20 worth of screws right there, or better.
Maybe more.
Another probably 10 to 15 bucks of screws, or actually, that's probably at least 15 because I didn't even get that many in the little pack I had the other day. This thing's a third full. A bucket like this right now is almost 50 bucks. So there's half that. I mean, let's say 20, 25 for that. Those are 3.5 number 10s. So that's a decent amount of screws right there. Another little, just a little thing of screws. Yeah, 8s. These are 8s. So these must be smaller. These might be a little 10 penny or something. Or no, 6s.
Got an ammo can.
A couple dollar ammo can. There's some drill bits. Most of these look brand new. A little Bosch kit. This is probably a little, I don't know what, Hyper Tough something or other. An older Mr. Tools, and they're all, there's a few of them missing out of each one, but like they haven't even been used right here. So, and I always go through them pretty quick.
And show me what's in that can.
Oh, this was I believe a bucket. He said it had got water in it, but they're still good. I mean, had that yellowish coating on them at one time. I will absolutely use these down here. I use screws like this around the farm. I pulled these off of a job years ago that came out of wood. We had to build these barriers, and they were just throwing them away. They said, "Oh, let's throw them in the trash." I'm like, I put them in my tool pouch, brought them home.
So we already had this bucket, but we used almost all the screws out of it the other day.
Almost half this bucket was full years ago, and I just use them off and on. And I was just talking about getting more, and a bucket almost this size was going for $200 plus right now. So, we did pretty good.
$100 for everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's just between. If these weren't used, just saying, probably just these screws, the nails, and this thing here is probably $100 worth of screws right now. So I mean, we did pretty good.
Grab the simple green.
And then
we got that in the bucket. A big thing of simple green.
I chucked me in a legitimate Collins machete.
Wow, that's a nice machete. It's still got the thing on it. Huh. Can always use a machete. And then the piece de resistance.
It's used, but it's in really good shape.
Stirred it right up.
Echo CS440. I really like Echo saws.
Okay, low battery.
I've got one right now, a small one that I really, really like. I got it for a few bucks years ago. Needs cleaned right now, but I use this, a CS306. It's been a great little around the house farm style saw. They're really simple, really easy to take apart and maintain.
So how much you pay for your new chainsaw?
This was $160 for the new one. He wanted $175, but
that's fair price.
Yeah, it's $400, $450 probably brand new, and it really, really hasn't been used that much. I mean, looks like the original bar. I mean, you can see on the bottom or down here, it's not super scraped up. Usually you can tell how beat up they are. That's just a little bit right there. I mean, it really has not been used that much. He's an older fella, real nice. Super good deal on that.
I'm excited for the screws because we needed them and we've been pricing screws and they are so expensive. My goodness. I'm excited to see what's in this big jar here. Dump it out someday and go through it and see what all's in there. But not a bad deal. There's our bucket, pretty much about third of the way, halfway full.
So I just dumped this coffee can into there and I was like, oh no, there's water in it. And since they had gotten wet prior, I was like, what does that smell? He sprayed a whole bunch of WD-40 in it. So the screws, it would be full of rusty water. It's just a very little bit of rust that came off the screws. And that's WD-40 down in the bottom. Cool. So he actually saved them by doing that.
Yeah, it looks real good. We'll use them all.
Do you ever think about prepping at yard sales? What's the coolest thing you've ever gotten at a yard sale that was a preparedness item? Let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to see what you got.
At another yard sale, Mr. Biggs got these amazing neoprene hip waiters for $15. Here's a quick shot on the internet of them retailing for 80 bucks. We got these 5 tomato cages at the same yard sale for $5, so $1 a piece. And I didn't think that was too bad of a deal. They're hardly even used. One's a little rusty, but who cares? Perfect. A quick search for my local Tractor Supply. Tomato cages are $2.49 each.
Thanks so much for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Stay tuned for Mr. Big's breakdown of every screw. He looked it all up on Lowe's and he was so proud of himself with all the money that he saved. So if you want to see that, it'll be after this. Thank you again for supporting my channel. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And remember, everybody, I would rather be a year early than a day late.
Jeremy went ahead on Lowe's.com and got all the prices for all the screws that we got today.
This is just the big nails. Some 3.5-inch wood screws. This is an approximation of what we had gotten. We actually had more. I didn't nickel and dime every last screw because there were some mixed bag screws in there. But there was probably 2 of these, so we'll be off by, another 14 bucks. And here's the 2.5-inch yellow. We had a bunch of those. Some 1 3/4 screws. We had a pile of those. 2-inch nails. We actually had a lot of them, more than what they're showing here, so you could probably double that price. I'm not even going to get into that. WD-40, the simple green. I just kind of used this for the deck screws that we got, the rusty ones. This wouldn't be a full amount of what we got, but it would be close. They're not really rusty, they just have a funk on them. Which ones are these? These were nails. Like I said, we had more than that of them by just kind of getting an average. It just came up to $216.
And we paid $100.
There's probably $250 actual worth of what we bought.